the mysterious National Geographic photograph. In 1971, the National Geographic Institute of Costa Rica undertook the creation of an aerial map focusing on the Arenal region, encompassing Lake Cote, as an integral component of the surveying efforts conducted on behalf of the Electricity Institute. In the subsequent years of that particular decade, Costa Rica undertook the ambitious project of constructing a dam on a river, leading to the inundation of a significant portion of the surrounding area in order to form Lake Arenal. This reservoir now serves as a crucial source of hydroelectric power for the nation, playing a pivotal role in meeting its energy needs. During the preparatory phase, Sergio Loaiza, Juan Bravo, and Francisco Reyes embarked on a small aircraft equipped with a cartographic camera fixed to the floor. Their aerial journey took them to an altitude of 10,000 feet, where the camera systematically recorded a fresh image every 13 seconds. This meticulous process allowed for the creation of detailed and precise aerial maps for further analysis and planning. After a period had passed, the photographers took the photographs they had captured and proceeded to develop and magnify them. During this process, they observed something out of the ordinary in a particular photo taken at Lake Cote. The photograph capturing a saucer-shaped object hovering above Costa Rica has garnered significant attention from various media platforms and has been extensively circulated on Twitter. This black and white image, depicting the unidentified flying object, has stirred curiosity and speculation among viewers worldwide. The general public asserts that this particular image captures what is considered to be the most exceptional photograph of an unidentified flying object often associated with extraterrestrial beings in recorded history. This remarkable shot was taken by the skilled aerial photographer Sergio Loaiza in the month of September in the year 1971. He captured this extraordinary moment while flying over the mesmerizing landscapes of Costa Rica during a photography mission designed to gather data for a hydroelectric project. This noteworthy event has been documented in a detailed report published by multiple news outlets, shedding light on the intriguing circumstances surrounding the sighting and the subsequent photograph. The initiative was strategically located in close proximity to the majestic Arenal volcano situated in a South American nation. In the image, positioned on the right side, there is a peculiar saucer-shaped object that appears metallic in nature. Its presence lacks a clear and straightforward explanation, thus rendering it unidentified not just at the time of observation, but persisting as a mystery. Furthermore, the existence of UFOs was challenging to discredit. The anomaly in the photo did not show up in any previous or subsequent images, indicating that it probably did not result from debris on the camera lens. Further examination of the picture revealed that there had been no modifications made to it. This careful scrutiny suggested that the anomaly was genuinely captured by the camera and not a result of any external interference or editing. With the aid of a top-of-the-line professional camera operated by an experienced crew, the photograph was captured, thereby bolstering its credibility. Mr. Loaiza captured a series of high-resolution photographs while situated at an elevation of 10,000 feet, showcasing the lake beneath and the lush rainforest that enveloped it. Employing his sophisticated 100-pound automated camera, he meticulously documented the scenery at precise 20-second intervals. In a particular frame captured, a gleaming metallic disc is observed in motion amidst Mr. Loaiza's Aero Commander aircraft and the Earth below. Initially, the photo lacked clarity, yet speculations regarding unidentified flying objects only began to circulate once the image was subsequently enhanced. Upon closer inspection, the mysterious object appeared to traverse the airspace, prompting debates and curiosity surrounding its origin and nature. The photograph in question belonged to the National Geographic Costa Rica organization, which commissioned the survey to assess the potential repercussions of the hydroelectric scheme on the nearby environment and water sources. This particular image was utilized specifically for the purpose of analyzing the effects of the project on the surrounding land and aquatic resources. Esteban Carranza, a Costa Rican resident, has recently made public a document previously undisclosed to the public. This document is a duplicate of the original negative found in the National Archives of Costa Rica. Interestingly, Mr. Carranza came into possession of this historical artifact through his uncle, who had secured it from the National Geographic Institute. This revelation sheds new light on the provenance and significance of the document, adding a layer of intrigue to its origins and raising questions about its historical relevance. Mr. Carranza highlighted that he had generated a high-resolution scan of the image the previous year, engaging with individuals from the National Geographic Institute and identifying the technician responsible for the camera used in 1971. He expressed his belief that it was not enough for the image to merely occupy space on his computer. According to him, disclosure should be a collaborative endeavor involving everyone, emphasizing the importance of making the image accessible to all. This tweet underscores the collaborative nature of sharing information and the necessity for inclusivity in the process. It sheds light on the significance of teamwork in making valuable content available for all to benefit from, promoting transparency. The media outlet known as UAP Media, which featured the image in question, asserts that there has never been a successful refutation of its authenticity up to the present time. In the course of time, a multitude of experts, including individuals like Ricardo Vilches, a UFO researcher from Costa Rica, and renowned professionals such as Dr. Richard Haynes and Dr. Jacques Vallée, have scrutinized the image meticulously. Their collective assessment pointed towards the authenticity of the object captured in the photograph, ruling out any possibilities of it being a result of double exposure or an intentional deception. This affirmation was emphasized by UAP Media on their website, highlighting the unequivocal nature of the experts' conclusions that the object depicted was indeed genuine. The item depicted in the image is believed to have a diameter ranging from approximately 120 to 220 feet. The mysterious Edwards Air Force Base image. One of the most intriguing and debated images associated with UFO activity near military installations is a photograph allegedly taken at Edwards Air Force Base between 1957 and 1958. The image, which has been widely circulated in UFO research circles, appears to show a disc-shaped object in the sky, seemingly descending with a trail or shadow beneath it. The photograph is said to originate from an instructional or training film that documented a landing event at the base, an event that some insiders claim was observed by military personnel and filmed under official circumstances. According to accounts surrounding this mysterious image, the footage was not intended for public release, but was instead used internally for analysis and instruction. However, it is believed that a segment of this film was eventually leaked, giving rise to the now famous still photograph. What makes the story even more compelling is the involvement of highly credible figures who claimed to have knowledge of the event. One such individual is the late astronaut Gordon Cooper, who publicly stated that he had seen the original footage. While he never confirmed whether the widely shared image was taken from that film, his affirmation of the event's occurrence has given the photograph a considerable level of credibility. Edwards Air Force Base has long been a site of interest for those studying unidentified aerial phenomena. As a key facility for the United States Air Force, and one often associated with experimental aircraft testing, it is not unusual for unusual aerial activity to be reported in the surrounding skies. However, the type of object shown in this image, with its disc-like shape and absence of conventional features such as wings or tail fins, does not match the known characteristics of any human-made aircraft from that era or even the present. The image itself is grainy and lacks the kind of detail that would allow for easy identification. Yet, it possesses a certain authenticity that distinguishes it from obvious hoaxes or digital fabrications. The lighting, shadowing, and the behavior of the object appear consistent with it being a solid form captured mid-flight. Supporters of its legitimacy argue that the image predates the modern era of photo manipulation, further enhancing its potential validity. Skeptics have attempted to explain the object as either a misidentified experimental aircraft or some sort of photographic anomaly. Still, no clear explanation has emerged that satisfies all aspects of the image or its associated history. The silence or ambiguity from official channels only fuels further speculation. To this day, the photograph remains one of the most compelling visual pieces connected to Edwards Air Force Base and the broader discussion around unidentified flying objects. Whether it truly captures a craft of unknown origin or is merely a misunderstood piece of history, its impact on public and scholarly curiosity has endured for decades. Michelle Reyes encounter. When a passenger on an aircraft witnessed what appeared to be a UFO soaring above New York, she accidentally photographed one of the most talked about UFO images in recent years. The images were shared to hundreds of groups that investigate UFOs, and it's been hailed as one of the clearest images of a cigar-shaped UFO. Michelle Reyes posted on Facebook that she saw a mystery flying cylinder through the window of her commercial aircraft on March 25th, while it was cruising above LaGuardia Airport. She told news outlets that the first thing she did was email the Federal Aviation Administration to let them know what she saw. Oddly enough, she said that she didn't hear back from them. She claimed that another passenger on the aircraft was astounded to see the mysterious object. After seeing the video, Thomas Wertman, the state director of the Mutual UFO Network in Ohio, stated that the dark object was relatively close to the jet and was moving at a height of about 2,500 feet. According to Wertman, the object's shape, height, and proximity to a busy commercial flight path seem to rule out the possibility that it is a news helicopter, drone, or military aircraft. He said that it's not legal for drones to fly at that altitude, and it shouldn't be this close to a major flight lane if it had to do with military defense or law enforcement. According to Wertman, who has spent years searching the skies for signs of unidentified objects, that could be a potential hazard. He found the object's peculiar spherical shape to be intriguing because it refutes the notion that it was a second plane captured on camera at an unexpected angle. He added that he doesn't see any features like wings or a tail, so it does not appear to be a commercial aircraft. When the video was taken, Reyes's plane was probably traveling at 230 miles per hour and was about 15 minutes away from LaGuardia Airport. Police officer photographs UFO above Wisconsin. On April 19, 1978, a quiet patrol shift for police officer Mark Coltrane in the town of Colfax, Wisconsin, turned into one of the most compelling UFO encounters ever documented. Colfax, a modest community in the United States with just a few thousand residents, rarely experiences anything beyond the ordinary, but what happened that day etched itself into the local memory and continues to be discussed among UFO researchers and enthusiasts. Around midday, Officer Coltrane chose to take a break from his routine patrol. He pulled his vehicle into a remote wooded area to enjoy a moment of rest and a quick meal. As he settled in, he noticed something unusual. His police radio began to crackle erratically, giving off bursts of static and distortion. The disruption caught his attention immediately, as the radio had been functioning normally up to that point. Looking up from his meal, Coltrane spotted an object rising silently into the sky from a nearby spot. He described it as a metallic disc, smooth and gleaming, with no visible wings or external propulsion. Unlike a conventional aircraft, it did not produce any sound, and its motion appeared fluid, deliberate, and unlike anything he had seen in his years of service. Reacting quickly, Officer Coltrane reached for the Polaroid camera he kept in his vehicle. He stepped out, raised the camera, and managed to capture several photographs of the object as it ascended. In one of the most striking images, the object was so close to the officer that the bottom of the craft was clearly visible. The details showed a structured underside, adding credibility to the claim that it was not just a reflection or distant object misidentified. The photographs, especially the close-up, have been hailed as some of the most remarkable UFO evidence from the era. The incident gained attention both locally and nationally, with many praising Coltrane's calm, professional reaction to such a strange and unexpected encounter. Despite investigations, no official explanation was ever provided for what Officer Coltrane witnessed and photographed that day. The event remains one of Wisconsin's most fascinating UFO cases, with the clarity of the image and the reliability of the witness making it a cornerstone example in the broader discussion of unexplained aerial phenomena. This video will take a deep dive into the recent 4K UFO orb sighting above South Downs, analyzing the evidence in detail. The sighting, which quickly gained attention online, was captured in high-resolution photographs and videos, raising questions about its origin. Through advanced analysis, we will verify the timestamps and metadata from the original images, confirming that they were taken on the exact date and time the witness claimed. Additionally, examination of the photos and videos' raw data shows no signs of digital manipulation or tampering, strengthening the credibility of the sighting. Using error level analysis, noise analysis, and other image detection software shows how the orb remains visible even under rigorous testing. As we break down the evidence, we'll assess what this means for UFO research and why sightings like this are crucial in the ongoing discussion about unexplained aerial phenomena. The recent UFO orb sighting above South Downs National Park has become one of the most compelling and well-documented sightings in recent years. Unlike many UFO videos that suffer from poor quality, lack of verification, or inconsistencies, this case stands out because the original poster has provided raw image files, metadata screenshots, and technical analysis, confirming that the footage is authentic. The silver orb-shaped object was captured on both a Nikon P1000 camera and an iPhone, allowing for a detailed comparison of the footage. Through various forensic tests and image analysis, it has been confirmed that the object was indeed present in the sky at the reported time and location, and no digital manipulation was applied to the images. The witness described seeing a solid, spherical UFO that behaved in a way inconsistent with any known atmospheric phenomenon, drone, or conventional aircraft. According to his account, the object dropped rapidly, then moved upwards, shifting from side to side with a level of control that suggested deliberate movement rather than being carried by the wind. He noted that at the time of the sighting, wind speeds were measured at 10 miles per hour, meaning that any lightweight airborne object, such as a balloon, should have traveled over 2 miles in a span of 13 minutes. However, the orb remained within a relatively small, controlled area, exhibiting movements that defied natural wind currents. To validate his claims, the original poster shared raw image files of the photographs and videos, ensuring that they could be examined for any signs of manipulation or editing. The metadata from these files, including exchangeable image file data, timestamps, and geolocation information, verified that the images were indeed captured on the date and time stated by the witness. This ruled out the possibility that the footage was fabricated or taken on a different occasion, adding to its credibility. Further analysis was conducted using forensic imaging software to detect any signs of digital alteration. Noise analysis and error level analysis were applied to the images, techniques commonly used in detecting Photoshop manipulation or artificial enhancements. The results showed that the object remained intact and consistent throughout all frames, with no discrepancies in pixel structure or compression artifacts that would indicate tampering. Additionally, various other detection tools confirmed that the orb was genuinely present in the original footage, rather than being a lens flare, reflection, or overlay. This level of transparency is uncommon in the realm of UFO sightings, where many cases rely solely on eyewitness testimony or unclear video clips. In this instance, the combination of high-resolution imagery, cross-device recordings, and forensic analysis makes it difficult to dismiss the event as a mere misidentification or hoax. The use of a Nikon P1000, known for its powerful zoom capabilities, allowed for a close-up view of the object, capturing it in sharp detail. The additional footage from the iPhone provided a secondary perspective, reinforcing the notion that the object was physically present in the sky and not an artifact of one specific camera. Many often argue that UFO footage is plagued by misinterpretations, camera glitches, or reflections, but in this case, the object's behavior remains highly unusual. The orb's controlled movement, despite the recorded wind speeds, suggests that it was not a drifting object like a balloon or a conventional aerial vehicle. The witness's observations, combined with the forensic data, indicate that this was a structured, solid craft of unknown origin. Another aspect of the sighting that adds to its credibility is the object's reaction to environmental conditions. If it had been a drone or balloon, it would have shown predictable movement patterns, affected by the wind or external forces. Instead, it exhibited rapid directional changes, hovering, and controlled shifts, suggesting the presence of an intelligent guidance system. The smooth, reflective surface of the orb, as captured in the images, also lacked visible propulsion systems, wings, or rotors, making it distinctly different from any known human-made technology. In addition to image analysis, motion tracking software was used to compare the object's trajectory with known flight paths of aircraft, weather patterns, and satellite movements. No commercial or military flights could be seen in the area that could explain the sighting, nor were there any meteorological conditions that could account for such an anomaly. The lack of a conventional explanation only deepens the mystery surrounding the South Downs orb. Given the clarity, authenticity, and independent verification of the footage, this sighting has drawn interest from UFO researchers, aviation experts, and skeptics alike. Unlike many cases where evidence remains inconclusive or open to multiple interpretations, this event presents a rare instance where hard data aligns with eyewitness testimony, leaving little room for traditional debunking arguments. This sighting also resonates with historical reports of orb-like UFOs, which have been documented for centuries, even before the invention of modern aircraft. Many of these reports describe silent metallic spheres moving erratically in the sky, often defying gravity and accelerating at impossible speeds. Such descriptions closely match what was observed and recorded in South Downs National Park, suggesting that this phenomenon is not new, but rather an ongoing mystery that continues to unfold. The significance of this case cannot be understated. As more people gain access to high-quality recording equipment and forensic analysis tools, UFO sightings are becoming more difficult to dismiss. This event sets a new standard for UFO documentation, proving that with the right tools and transparency, genuine anomalies can be captured, analyzed, and verified. The South Downs orb sighting challenges conventional explanations and opens the door to new possibilities in the study of unidentified aerial phenomena. Whether this object was an unknown form of advanced technology, one thing remains clear. It was there, it was real, and it was not something easily explained away. As researchers continue to examine the evidence, this case may very well stand as one of the clearest and most compelling UFO sightings ever recorded. The recent UFO orb sighting above South Downs National Park has gained significant attention, not only for its high-quality documentation, but also because of its striking similarities to another viral orb sighting at Manchester Airport in November 2024. The Manchester Airport sighting, reported by a pilot under the pseudonym Bigelow, has fueled speculation about the presence of unidentified aerial phenomena near major transportation hubs. The details of both sightings align in remarkable ways, raising questions about whether these objects are part of a larger pattern of UFO activity. According to Bigelow, he witnessed a silver metallic orb near the airport while seated in his cockpit, preparing for departure. The object was described as hovering just inches off the ground, completely silent, before suddenly accelerating vertically at an extreme speed, disappearing in seconds. The pilot, having had a clear view of the object, noted its small car size, smooth reflective surface, and seamless design, characteristics that mirror descriptions of orb UFOs reported worldwide. His first-hand account was backed by video evidence, which he initially shared on social media. However, the events that followed only deepened the mystery. Shortly after posting the footage, Bigelow's social media accounts were abruptly suspended. His Twitter post, which had quickly gained traction, was removed without explanation. When he attempted to share his experience on Reddit, the same thing happened. His account was deleted soon after his post began gaining attention. This rapid and coordinated suppression of information led many to believe that his sighting had drawn the wrong kind of attention, with some speculating that authorities were actively working to prevent the footage from spreading. The timing of these actions has convinced many UFO researchers that there was a deliberate attempt to silence the pilot's testimony. The similarities between the South Downs orb sighting and the Manchester Airport event are too significant to ignore. Both witnesses described a perfectly spherical metallic object with no visible propulsion system. Both objects hovered silently, appearing to observe their surroundings before demonstrating incredible acceleration and maneuverability. In both cases, the objects did not behave like conventional aircraft, drones, or known technology. These parallels suggest that whatever these objects are, they are not random occurrences. They follow a pattern, one that may indicate a highly advanced intelligence behind their movement. In the case of the South Downs sighting, forensic analysis of the footage and raw data confirmed that the images and videos were not altered. Experts used error-level analysis, noise analysis, and image detection software to verify that the object was genuinely present in the original footage, ruling out the possibility of digital manipulation. Similarly, the Manchester Airport orb was recorded on a high-resolution camera, and although the footage was quickly removed from social media, those who saw it described an eerily similar object to the one documented over South Downs. When airport security personnel approached, the object abruptly accelerated vertically, at an unimaginable speed, vanishing from sight within seconds. Such rapid ascension, devoid of any visible propulsion system or accompanying sound, is a hallmark of many documented UFO sightings, further fueling speculation about its nature. Bigelow's description of the event aligns with numerous other reports of orb-shaped UFOs worldwide, often characterized by their reflective surfaces, seamless designs, and advanced maneuverability. The pilot, aware of the skepticism often directed at such claims, decided to share the video footage online to substantiate his account. The plot thickened when, just hours after posting the sighting on Twitter, Bigelow's account was suspended without explanation. Undeterred, he turned to Reddit to share his experience and engage with the UFO community, only to have his Reddit account similarly taken down shortly after his posts gained traction. These actions have fueled widespread speculation of a deliberate attempt to suppress information about the sighting. Many within the UFO community and beyond have suggested that officials might be pressuring social media platforms to remove content related to the incident, either to protect sensitive information about classified technology or to prevent public panic. The lack of official acknowledgement or explanation has only deepened suspicions. Critics argue that such incidents highlight a troubling pattern of secrecy surrounding UFO sightings, particularly those involving credible witnesses like pilots. The abrupt disappearance of Bigelow's online presence has left many questioning whether his testimony threatened to expose information authorities prefer to keep hidden. The nature of the silver orb sighted at Manchester Airport remains a topic of intense debate, with several theories emerging about its origins. One plausible explanation is that the orb represents advanced human-made technology, possibly linked to experimental military or private aerospace projects. Its silent hovering and rapid acceleration could point to breakthroughs in propulsion or materials science currently unknown to the public. Manchester Airport's proximity to military and research facilities lends some credence to this theory, though no official connection has been established. However, as many have noted, why would they be hovering this equipment over a nearby airport if it was manufactured at a nearby base? According to one user's comment, these kinds of initiatives cost hundreds of millions of dollars, sometimes even billions, and the people who are working on them are instructed to keep them confidential. Why then would they set that piece of technology down in an airport so that everyone could view it? Nobody would do that, and it doesn't make any sense. Another popular theory is that the orb was an advanced piece of technology not owned by humans, a hypothesis supported by its behavior and design. The seamless metallic appearance and extreme maneuverability are consistent with numerous UFO reports worldwide, often interpreted as evidence of alien technology. If the object was indeed an extraterrestrial craft, its presence at a busy international airport raises intriguing questions about its purpose and intentions. The swift suspension of Bigelow's social media accounts has reignited discussions about how UFO sightings are handled by authorities and platforms. The incident echoes similar cases where credible witnesses have faced silencing or dismissal after attempting to share their experiences. Proponents of the cover-up theory argue that governments and military organizations may have a vested interest in controlling the narrative around UFO sightings, particularly if they involve advanced technology or extraterrestrial phenomena. Keeping such events out of the public eye could prevent mass speculation, protect sensitive research, or maintain geopolitical stability. Others, however, caution against jumping to conclusions. The account suspensions might simply reflect social media platforms' policies against unverified or controversial claims, though the timing and lack of transparency continue to fuel suspicions. The Manchester Airport sighting has captured the public's imagination not only because of the mysterious object itself, but also due to the circumstances surrounding its aftermath. Incidents like these highlight the growing demand for transparency in the study and reporting of UFO phenomena. With the US government and other nations recently acknowledging the existence of unidentified aerial phenomena and increasing efforts to investigate them, the Manchester sighting underscores the importance of rigorous and open inquiry. The man who knew the original photographers who took the Calvine image revealed that they were interrogated and then mysteriously vanished. The most significant UFO discovery occurred in 2022 when news outlets managed to locate and release a strange UFO photo from the Calvine incident, which was scheduled for release on January 1, 2072. One of the most talked about examples in the UAP community is the Calvine UFO sighting in 1990. The co-worker of the two British photographers who saw and took this iconic UFO shot has finally come forward with an even stranger story after several decades. Many UFO photos and films may be found online, and some of them are reliable. Nevertheless, one image that was sent to the UK's Defence Ministry is thought to be the most amazing UFO image. Nevertheless, for some reason, it had vanished. A 100-foot diamond-shaped flying saucer is seen in the picture, hovering over the Scottish Highlands settlement of Calvine. The image was captured in 1990 and was labelled by many insiders as one of the clearest photographs that we have of a UFO. In addition to discovering the original Calvine UFO print, which was taken straight from the negatives, Vinnie Adams of UAP Media UK revealed that his team also located the original envelope that was sent from the Scottish Daily Record to Craig Lindsay, the Ministry of Defence press officer in charge of the case at the time. The latest development in the Calvine incident has been covered by Mail Online. For the first time in 34 years, retired chef Richard Grieve, who was 21 at the time of the occurrence, discussed that mysterious night in 1990, according to Dr. David Clarke, a research fellow and journalism lecturer at Sheffield Hallam University. A group of teenage chefs in Pitlochry, Scotland, took a break outside their hotel kitchen on a stormy, dark night. Usually they shared drinks and joked, but tonight was different. While trekking in Calvine a few nights prior, two chefs were discussing excitedly about sighting a gigantic, diamond-shaped object hovering silently in the sky. They presented a newspaper with the pictures they had taken. A dark sedan pulled up, and two men in black suits got out, calling the two chefs by name as they talked about their experience. They told the remainder of the group to return inside, and they took the chefs away for a private discussion. Following their encounter with the individuals claiming to be from the Royal Navy, Richard said that the two chefs were extremely rattled. The chefs' behaviour drastically changed after the experience, and they eventually quit their positions because they felt like they were being followed. They were never seen by Richard again. According to Dr. David Clarke, the mystery surrounding the photos shot by two cooks on that night and the Calvine incident had captivated him for more than 15 years. From the Scottish Highlands to the shadowy depths of the US Pentagon, his quest for the truth has taken him everywhere. When the UK Ministry of Defence shut down its UFO desk and made thousands of papers public in 2009, Dr. Clarke first learnt about the story. He discovered the extensively redacted Calvine file among these files, which included a shoddy photocopy of the chef's picture. Dr. Clarke eventually located the original photograph at the residence of Craig Lindsay, a former RAF press officer, following years of ongoing research with other specialists. For 32 years, Lindsay had concealed the picture on a bookcase. Lindsay, who was in his 80s at the time, disclosed that he had been waiting for someone to inquire about the picture for almost 30 years when Dr. Clarke reached out to him in 2022. The Daily Mail released this Calvine UFO image in 2022. UFO enthusiasts have been emailing Dr. Clarke with their hypotheses and requests for more information regarding the object in the picture. Some people think that Royal Air Force fighters intercepted an advanced spacecraft. Some speculate that it could be a top-secret US military project utilizing cutting-edge technology, such as Aurora, which is renowned for its stealth qualities, or the Hopeless Diamond. Dr. Clarke has been unable to get in touch with the two persons who took the picture in spite of all of this attention. In 1990, Richard Grieve, who worked as a chef at a hotel in Pitlochry, said the males appeared to have vanished. The photo print's reverse side bore the name Kevin Russell. Lindsay received the picture from the Daily Record newspaper. After faxing the picture to the Ministry of Defence, Lindsay attempted to reach the photographer at the number the newspaper had given. However, no other information on them could be found. The chefs who took the picture claimed to have seen a military Harrier jet circle the UFO and fly beneath it. They further claimed that the UFO silently soared into the sky. After summarising this account, Lindsay forwarded it to the Ministry of Defence, who instructed him to leave it to their London office. For 18 months, Dr. Clarke and a film crew have been searching for Kevin Russell, the photographer of a contentious image. Although 140 people with the name Kevin Russell were located, none of them acknowledged taking the picture. The moniker might be a hoax, or the actual photographer may still be too afraid to come forward. According to Richard Grieve, they would not have made up the narrative since they were actually afraid. One chef delivered the developed photographs to the Daily Record newspaper in Glasgow by bus. A dark, mysterious automobile soon followed. Richard was told by one chef that it was the Americans, implying that the United States was involved. Information on the photographs is not being made public by the Ministry of Defense, which claims that all other records were destroyed or forwarded to the National Archives, and that the pictures were given back to the newspaper. A second jet in the distance was discovered through analysis of one of the missing photographs, according to the MOD file, further reducing the likelihood of a hoax. The US and UK government agencies analysed the photos at least 3 times. Although no Harriers were known to be flying in Scotland that night, a 1990 briefing for Defence Minister Ken Carlisle concluded that the jet in the picture was probably a Harrier. The specialists were unable to identify the diamond-shaped object with certainty. The Daily Record never ran the pictures, even though they were ready for a story. Former newspaper news editor Malcolm Speed remembers seeing the images and being shocked that they weren't published, particularly after learning from picture editor Andy Allen that the RAF claimed they were fakes. Malcolm Speed wondered if Andy Allen, who passed away in 2007, was duped by the RAF because he was unable to give his account. Dr. Clark pointed out that the sighting occurred on August 4, 1990, which was also the beginning of the Gulf War. This stealth fighter, which had been in development for years and looked like the item pictured in Scotland, was one of the many resources the US military was mobilizing. Since then, the US government has acknowledged operating prototype aircraft that resembled unidentified flying objects, including hovering triangle-shaped aircraft. One of these prototypes may have been the Calvine UFO. According to a recent assessment from the US Department of Defense's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, a large number of UFO encounters were apparently misinterpreted as extremely sensitive national security projects. Understanding the importance of diverse viewpoints in this discussion is crucial. What exactly was the strange object seen over Calvine that summer evening in 1990, and why, in spite of the 30-year rule on such information, does the military want some case-related files to stay under seal until well into the 2070s if the object was nothing? It is definitely cause for suspicion, even though the National Archives maintain that only the names of people engaged are governed by this policy. For example, we would believe that 30 years later, if the thing was just an experimental aircraft, it would be safe to reveal its specifications to the public. The Calvine UFO picture and the circumstances surrounding it have taken several turns, which only serves to highlight how muddled the field of UFO study is in reality. As of this writing, searches are ongoing for Russell and the other witnesses to the events. Should they choose to come forward, the Calvine UFO photo has the potential to be among the most significant pieces of evidence in the history of UFO research. Without a doubt, it still holds true now, just as it did when it was originally taken more than 30 years ago. The mysterious Colombia footage. A recently released video has sparked widespread curiosity and intrigue in the UFO research community, capturing what appears to be a metallic, orb-shaped object floating silently in the sky. The sighting took place in a remote region of Colombia, where the witness was hiking along a rural trail that offered broad visibility across expansive farmland and forested hills. It was in this wide-open setting that the unidentified object made its silent appearance, hovering above the treetops with no sound or visible means of propulsion. According to the individual who recorded the footage, the object was initially thought to be a drone or a weather balloon. However, upon closer observation, several characteristics quickly ruled out both possibilities. The object was described as perfectly spherical, roughly 1 to 2 meters in diameter, and positioned at an estimated altitude of 300 to 500 meters. It emitted a strong reflection of sunlight, giving it a mirror-like surface that suggested it was made from a highly reflective metal. There were no seams, antennas, or other appendages visible on its surface, making it appear unusually smooth and symmetrical. The motion of the object added to the mystery. It hovered silently for a time before moving in a smooth and controlled manner across the sky. At certain moments, it shifted speed, at times gliding slowly, and at others accelerating abruptly, all without making any noise or revealing a mechanism that could explain its mobility. The witness noted that the sphere changed direction mid-flight, which eliminated the possibility of it being a balloon carried passively by the wind. There was no indication of sound waves, mechanical propulsion, or winged structures that would categorize it as a known aircraft or drone. The footage has not been digitally altered and was released in its raw form, further strengthening its credibility. The witness emphasized that there were no signs of electromagnetic interference or abnormal behavior during or after the sighting, which could have indicated technical tampering or environmental anomalies. The event took place in a remote, peaceful area, far from any known military installations or urban infrastructure. This isolation adds another layer of strangeness to the encounter, as it seems unlikely such advanced technology would be tested in a rural setting without causing a stir. The video has since circulated widely, prompting both curiosity and debate among analysts and enthusiasts. Its content is striking in its clarity, and the object's characteristics have defied conventional explanations. With no discernible flight control surfaces, exhaust trails, or sound emissions, the orb remains a true unidentified flying object in the most literal sense. Researchers have begun comparing the footage to other similar sightings reported around the world, many of which involve similar reflective spheres behaving in unexpected ways. As interest grows, the individual who recorded the video is hoping to connect with experts or others who have witnessed similar phenomena. Whether this orb is a piece of advanced technology, a natural anomaly, or something even more mysterious, its presence in the skies over Colombia adds yet another chapter to the expanding mystery surrounding unidentified aerial phenomena. Mysterious object captured above Mexico. In the quiet afternoon skies over central Mexico, a respected local banker and his family experienced something that would leave a lasting impression on them and ignite curiosity in many others. What began as a typical family drive turned into a moment of high strangeness when a mysterious flying object rapidly approached from the east. It was a clear day, the sky was open and blue, and visibility was excellent. The banker's wife was the first to spot the anomaly. She pointed to the object and described it as round in shape, clearly distinct from the conventional aircraft that one might expect to see overhead. As the strange object drew closer, it became clear that it was not an airplane. It lacked wings and emitted no noise. It was not a helicopter either, as there were no visible rotors or tail fins, nor did it resemble a weather or competition balloon. The shape was entirely unfamiliar, smooth, symmetrical, and metallic in appearance, with a curious, almost reflective surface. The banker, intrigued by what he was seeing, decided to pull the car over to the side of the road so he and his family could observe the object more clearly. Everyone stepped out to get a better look. The object hovered in an almost deliberate manner, moving slowly yet purposefully across the sky. Sensing the moment's significance, the banker quickly retrieved his camera and managed to snap a clear photograph of the UFO as it passed in front of them. The image that emerged has since fascinated researchers and enthusiasts alike. It shows a dark, rounded object with a somewhat bulbous center and projections on either side. The photo lacks any clear identifying features of known man-made aircraft. There are no markings, lights, or visible propulsion systems, yet the image does not appear to be a blur or an error. The clarity and precision suggest the object was real, tangible, and present in the sky that day. While no official explanation has ever been provided, the photograph remains one of the more intriguing visual records of UFO sightings in Mexico. It continues to be analyzed and debated, but for the banker and his family, the experience was as real as the road beneath their feet, and the photo remains a mysterious testament to what they encountered. The mysterious Trindade Island UFO sighting. In the annals of global UFO sightings, few cases have stirred as much intrigue and official response as the mysterious encounter near Trindade Island, Brazil. The event took place in January 1958, during a time when the Brazilian Navy training ship Almirante Saldanha was taking part in research efforts tied to the International Geophysical Year. Positioned in the South Atlantic Ocean near the remote island of Trindade, the vessel's mission was primarily scientific, focusing on oceanographic and meteorological data collection. However, what occurred around midday would elevate this voyage into one of the most mysterious aerial phenomena of the era. Between 11 and 12, a group of crew members positioned at the back of the ship observed something highly unusual. An object appeared in the sky that immediately drew the attention of everyone on deck. It was described as disc-shaped, glowing faintly, and unlike any known aircraft of the time. What captivated the observers most was the way the object moved. It reportedly maneuvered silently and erratically, changing directions at great speed, unlike conventional airplanes or balloons. At moments, it left behind a luminous trail that quickly vanished, and at times the object itself seemed to blink out of sight, only to reappear in a different position, almost as if it was phasing in and out of visibility. The object appeared to head toward Trindade Island, but never landed. Among those on board was a photographer named Almiro Barauna, who managed to capture a series of images that quickly became central to the case. Once back on land, the photographs were handed over to the Brazilian Navy and analyzed by several independent laboratories and academic institutions. The findings at the time were surprising. Experts concluded that the images were not manipulated and that they were consistent with what the ship's personnel had reported. Multiple witnesses, including military officers and the ship's captain, provided corroborating testimonies. The event garnered national attention, reaching the highest levels of the Brazilian government. So impactful were the accounts and the photographs that even Brazil's president at the time, Juscelino Kubitschek, publicly acknowledged the incident. His acknowledgement only added weight to the growing sense that something truly unexplained had occurred. Despite the validation of the photographs by authorities and laboratories, skepticism remained. Barauna, the photographer, came under scrutiny when it was revealed that in previous unrelated instances he had altered photographs. Although none of those past cases involved unidentified flying objects, the revelation did introduce a layer of doubt to the UFO case. Yet, supporters argue that the sheer number of credible witnesses, most of them military personnel, lends the event a strong degree of legitimacy. To this day, the Trindade Island UFO incident remains one of the most well-documented and perplexing cases in the history of unidentified aerial phenomena. Whether the photographs were fabricated or not, the overwhelming number of consistent eyewitness reports suggests that something extraordinary happened that day above the waters of the South Atlantic. The mystery continues to be a subject of speculation, fascination, and study in the ongoing quest to understand the unexplained. The mysterious 1963 Albuquerque sighting. The photograph captured on June 16, 1963 by Apolinar Paul Villa in Albuquerque, New Mexico, remains one of the more curious and visually striking UFO images of the 20th century. Villa, a former mechanic and self-taught engineer, claimed he was guided telepathically to a remote location that afternoon, where he encountered a disc-shaped object silently hovering just above the ground. According to his account, the craft remained in place for an extended period between 2 and 4 in the afternoon, granting him time to take several photographs with a Japanese-made Rokuosha camera equipped with a 75mm lens. What makes Villa's account particularly unusual is not just the clarity of the images, but his assertion that the occupants of the craft allowed, and even encouraged, him to document the encounter. He stated that he interacted with 9 beings on board, who identified themselves as originating from a planet within the distant star cluster Coma Berenices. These visitors, he said, communicated with him through a form of mental transmission, engaging in a lengthy exchange that lasted roughly 90 minutes. The photograph itself is compelling in its composition, showing the saucer-like object against a backdrop of natural vegetation and trees. There is a curious stillness to the frame, the craft appearing neither hurried nor evasive, but rather as if deliberately showcasing itself. The lighting and shadow seem consistent with the time of day Villa specified, and no immediate signs of manipulation were evident in the original prints. Villa's claims were met with skepticism by many, but his calm demeanor, technical knowledge, and the clarity of his photos have led some to reconsider their significance. Whether one believes in the extraterrestrial origin of the craft or not, this photograph continues to intrigue researchers and enthusiasts alike, serving as a lasting visual artifact in the long and complex history of unexplained aerial encounters. The year 2008 marked a significant milestone in the history of UFO sightings. Over a small village in Turkey, a series of extraordinary events unfolded, capturing worldwide attention. The sightings began when dozens of villagers observed strange lights and an unidentified object hovering in the night sky. Witnesses described the object as disc-shaped, emitting bright lights that pulsed and changed colors. For hours, the UFO remained suspended in the air, defying conventional physics and leaving onlookers in awe and disbelief. Turkey has a long history of unexplained aerial phenomena, dating back centuries. However, between 2007 and 2009, a series of particularly unusual events occurred in the country's northwest region. During this time, multiple unidentified objects were spotted over the sea by local residents. A crucial piece of video evidence was captured at the same location, showing an unknown object hovering in the sky. Many locals recounted their encounters with flying objects of disc and oval shapes. These aerial phenomena displayed a metallic appearance, moved silently, and were sometimes accompanied by strange red and orange lights. Witnesses included residents of a nearby housing complex, curious onlookers, and even fishermen. Remarkably, in 2009, following a UFO conference near Istanbul, renowned researcher Roger Lehr and a group of 7 to 8 individuals witnessed a similar sighting. Under the glow of a bright moon, they observed a mysterious disc-shaped object hovering above. Lehr personally saw Yeltsin, a witness, capturing video footage of this anomalous craft. Before his passing, Lehr gave multiple interviews about the experience, further solidifying the credibility of the event. Reports of these sightings were submitted to Turkey's primary UFO research organization, the Clearest UFO and Space Science Research Group, led by Haktan Akdogan. The footage was analyzed by the Scientific and Technological Research Council of Turkey and the TUG National Observatory, both state-sponsored institutions. Their objective was to detect any signs of forgery, yet their findings surprisingly supported the authenticity of the footage. The original video recordings have also been examined by researchers from the United States, the United Kingdom, Japan, and Brazil. Despite numerous attempts, no one has been able to prove the videos were hoaxed, leaving the case an enduring mystery. In the previous year, between May 22nd and September 28th, unusual aerial phenomena were observed and documented near the Yeni Kent facility on the Kumburgaz shoreline. Yeltsin, who worked the night shift at the facility, had a unique vantage point that allowed him to witness these sightings firsthand. As news spread, more locals took notice, increasing public interest. The 2008 sightings, similar to those in 2007, gained significant media attention in Turkey and even caught the interest of US news networks. This, in turn, prompted the Turkish scientific and astronomical community to analyze the footage thoroughly. The following day, a glowing sphere of orange and red plasma-like light was observed, hovering motionless in the sky for an extended period. Its radiant glow reflected off the calm water below, creating a breathtaking visual display that mesmerized onlookers. Just 4 days later, another bright orange object appeared, followed by the sighting of a peculiar craft, as depicted in the image below. Notably, the object exhibited a horizontal movement that caused a visible shift in light and shadow across its structure, raising intriguing questions about its nature and behavior. Upon reviewing the unedited footage, a distinct elongated anomaly can be seen hovering just above the water's surface. Yeltsin, who recorded the footage, effectively used the camera's zoom function to capture multiple close-ups and wide shots, providing a clearer view of the unexplained phenomenon. The cruise ship theory. At present, one theory suggests that the unidentified object could be part of a cruise ship. However, after analyzing its position in the sky and cross-referencing ship logs and records, no vessels were found in the area during the time of these sightings. A detailed analysis has been conducted, revealing multiple factors that challenge the validity of the cruise ship theory. Astronomers often use the moon as a reference point to estimate the angular elevation of objects in the night sky, such as airplanes, helicopters, and celestial bodies. A standard rule states that the moon's angular diameter is about 0.5 degrees, meaning 2 moon widths equal 1 degree. On May 17, 2009, footage captured both the moon and the unidentified object in the same frame for several minutes. This provided an opportunity to determine the object's altitude relative to the horizon. If the object was too high, it would disprove the cruise ship theory. If it was closer to the horizon, the theory could remain plausible. The Turkey UFO case website utilized Stellarium, a widely used planetarium software among astronomers. This tool allows users to analyze celestial alignments from any location on Earth, whether in the past or present. By inputting the precise coordinates of the camera's position on May 17, 2009, the software confirmed that at 6 minutes past 3 in the morning, the moon was approximately 12.3 degrees above the horizon from the observer's location. According to an established astronomical principle, combining the diameters of two moons equals 1 degree. This rule serves as a reliable method for measuring celestial objects' positions. Analyzing the footage, it was determined that the unidentified object was positioned approximately 7.9 degrees above the horizon. This calculation reinforces the importance of astronomical reference points in evaluating such phenomena. According to Alcioni's claim, if a ship were beyond the Earth's curvature, it would appear lower on the horizon than its actual position. However, based on the calculated measurements, the object's altitude suggests it was far too high to be part of a cruise ship or yacht. Alcioni theorized that the object represented the bridge of a cruise ship, but this is highly improbable due to the proximity to the shore and shallow waters. The data contradicts this assertion, as the object's position was significantly higher than any maritime vessel could achieve. Further analysis confirms that the designated marina for cruise ships, the port of Karakoy, is located in the Bosphorus Strait. However, this location is not visible from the observer's vantage point, eliminating the possibility that the object was a ship docked there. To further investigate, the Automatic Identification System, a global vessel tracking network, was examined. Automatic Identification System electronically transmits ship locations via VHF radio, using GPS data to provide accurate positioning and velocity information. This system plays a crucial role in monitoring maritime traffic and verifying vessel movements. A comprehensive review of the Automatic Identification System vessel traffic reports for the Sea of Marmara on May 13th and May 15th in 2009 was conducted. These reports document each vessel's call sign, time of observation, latitude and longitude, and prevailing wind conditions. If a cruise ship or yacht had been present at the sighting location, it should have been listed in the records. While vessels were detected in the Bosphorus Strait, some in the Black Sea and others outside the camera's field of view, there was no indication of a cruise ship or yacht within the observed area. At precisely 3:59 in the morning on May 13, 2009, a thorough review of the available data confirmed that no evidence substantiates the presence of a cruise ship or yacht within the visual range of the camera. This detailed examination reinforces the conclusion that the unidentified object was not a maritime vessel, further deepening the mystery surrounding the sighting. Additionally, it is important to note that at the time the footage was recorded, no other vessels, such as tankers, fishing boats, or bulk carriers, were visible in the area or its immediate vicinity. In Turkey, there have been no reports from residents claiming to have seen a cruise ship or yacht in the region. Given the extensive media coverage surrounding this case, it is surprising that no one has come forward to verify the presence of such a vessel. According to Turkish researchers and statements from Yalçın Yalman, the videos recorded on July 30, 2007, August 31, 2008, and May 14, 2009 were not filmed near the sea, but rather on land. This finding is significant as it clarifies the actual location where these sightings occurred. Interestingly, on May 14, 2009, this event took place in front of a large group attending a conference, miles away from any coastline. Careful analysis of these land-based videos provides compelling evidence that challenges the idea of a cruise ship being involved, effectively ruling out any maritime explanation for these sightings. The original footage captured an extraordinary phenomenon, a luminous ball of light that gradually transformed into a dome-shaped craft. This recording took place at Yalçın's father's condominium, located several blocks from the waterfront. The significant distance from the sea further adds to the mystery surrounding the sighting. Upon closer examination, the luminous orb underwent a fascinating transformation. Throughout history, orange glowing spheres have frequently been reported in association with unidentified flying objects. Despite continued investigations, their purpose and origin remain elusive. Yalçın's footage, which has garnered significant attention, features multiple instances of these glowing orbs. Notably, they appear either during, just before, or immediately after other unidentified objects, heightening curiosity about their connection. Furthermore, numerous eyewitness accounts describing these mysterious orange spheres strongly support their existence. Given the available evidence, it is highly unlikely that these glowing orbs can be attributed to a cruise ship. Several undeniable factors contribute to this improbability. During the heightened UFO activity in 2008, particularly on June 9th, Yeltsin and several others witnessed an extraordinary event. The appearance of the orange lights occurred consistently in the same location, either simultaneously with, shortly before, or just after other unidentified objects were observed. This pattern suggests a notable correlation between the glowing spheres and the surrounding anomalies. During the wave of UFO sightings in 2008, local residents frequently reported seeing unidentified objects. One particularly striking event occurred on July 4, 2008, when an unexplained light was recorded between 5:20 and 5:53 in the morning. Several visual factors indicate that the light source was highly unlikely to be a cruise ship or yacht. Most notably, the unexplained light appeared significantly above the horizon, making it implausible for it to originate from a vessel on the water. Earlier that same day, at precisely 2:43 in the morning, another intriguing event took place over the open sea. A circular or disc-shaped object appeared, captivating the attention of those fortunate enough to witness it. Interestingly, both sequences of the July 4, 2008 sightings were recorded at the exact same location. This raises the possibility that the object captured in both instances could be the same, further supporting the consistency of these sightings. In recent interviews, Yeltsin Yalman revealed that the footage from July 30, 2007 was filmed from the open-air balcony of his father's condominium, located a few blocks from the Yeni Kent facility near the beaches of Kumburgaz. On that occasion, he initially observed an unusual dome-shaped anomaly in the far distance. The 2008 Turkey UFO case remains one of the most compelling and mysterious pieces of evidence supporting the existence of unidentified flying objects. Despite numerous attempts to debunk the recordings captured by Yeltsin Yalman, no one has successfully demonstrated that the footage was fabricated, manipulated, or hoaxed in any way. The debate, therefore, has shifted away from questioning the authenticity of the videos and has instead focused on the nature and origin of the objects they depict. The clarity of the footage, the presence of apparent occupants inside the craft, and the extensive analysis conducted by experts all contribute to the credibility of the case, making it one of the most extraordinary UFO sightings ever recorded. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Turkey UFO case is the level of detail captured in the footage. Yeltsin Yalman, a security guard working night shifts at a coastal facility near Kumburgaz, used a camera with an impressive 200 optical zoom. This allowed him to record highly detailed images of the objects, even capturing what appears to be movement inside the craft. Unlike many UFO sightings, which consist of blurry, distant lights in the sky, Yalman's recordings provide an unprecedented level of visual clarity, showcasing the distinct shape and features of the craft. This level of detail has made the footage one of the clearest and most compelling pieces of evidence of UFO activity. The presence of what appear to be occupants within the craft further strengthens the credibility of the sighting. In several sequences of the footage, figures can be seen moving within the object, adding an entirely new dimension to the case. This is not just a case of strange lights or an unidentifiable object in the sky, it appears to depict an actual craft with beings inside. The implications of this are profound, as it suggests not only the presence of advanced aerial technology, but also the existence of non-human entities. This aspect of the footage has captivated researchers and UFO enthusiasts alike, as it provides a rare glimpse into what could be an extraterrestrial or highly classified unknown entity. Experts have extensively analyzed the footage in an attempt to determine its authenticity. The Turkish Sirius UFO and Space Science Research Center, as well as other independent analysts, have reviewed the original recordings. Their analysis found no evidence of tampering, digital manipulation, or special effects. Additionally, the Scientific and Technological Research Council of Turkey and the TUG National Observatory, both highly respected institutions, examined the footage and found no indications of forgery. These conclusions are significant because they come from credible organizations with the expertise to detect fraudulent material. The fact that these institutions could not debunk the footage speaks volumes about its authenticity. Moreover, the automatic identification system, which tracks maritime traffic, revealed no cruise ships, yachts, or other vessels in the vicinity during the recorded sightings. This directly contradicts skeptics who proposed the theory that the objects were reflections from boats or distant ships. The footage was also captured over an extended period, from 2007 to 2009, with multiple witnesses present on various occasions. If the sighting had been caused by a misidentified man-made object, it would have likely been identified and explained by now. Instead, the objects remain unidentified, further reinforcing the mystery surrounding them. Another crucial element of the case is the consistency of eyewitness testimonies. Many locals from the Cumburgas area, including fishermen and residents of nearby housing complexes, reported seeing the strange aerial objects. Some even described the same characteristics captured in Yalman's footage: disc-shaped craft with glowing lights that appeared to change color and move silently across the sky. The consistency in these reports suggests that Yalman was not alone in witnessing these extraordinary events. The fact that independent observers corroborated his recordings strengthens the credibility of the case and makes it difficult to dismiss as a mere fabrication. The Turkey UFO case also gained international attention, with researchers and analysts from various countries examining the footage. Experts from the United States, the United Kingdom, Japan, and Brazil have studied the recordings, yet none have been able to prove them to be a hoax. If the footage had been manipulated in any way, it is likely that one of these independent investigations would have uncovered evidence of deception. Instead, the case remains a mystery, with no definitive explanation for what Yalman captured. The implications of the Turkey UFO case are profound. If the objects in the footage are not of human origin, then they represent a form of advanced technology that is beyond our current understanding. The presence of apparent occupants suggests that these craft may be piloted by intelligent beings, which would be one of the most significant discoveries in human history. Given the extensive analysis, the credibility of the witnesses, and the sheer clarity of the footage, it is reasonable to consider the possibility that these sightings represent genuine encounters with extraterrestrial or unknown entities. As of today, the Turkey 2008 UFO case remains one of the most well-documented and mysterious sightings ever recorded. Despite exhaustive efforts, no one has been able to demonstrate that the recordings were the result of tricks, hoaxes, or manipulation. Instead, the discussion has shifted toward understanding the true nature of the objects captured on film. The combination of clear footage, multiple eyewitness accounts, scientific analysis, and the apparent presence of occupants inside the craft makes this case stand out as one of the most compelling pieces of evidence supporting the existence of UFOs. Until further evidence emerges to explain the phenomenon, the mystery of the Turkey UFO sightings will continue to fuel curiosity, research, and debate among scientists, researchers, and the public alike. In October 2017, a mysterious post appeared on the Facebook page Art Bell's Midnight in the Desert, featuring Heather Wade, sparking intrigue among UFO enthusiasts. The post showcased a photograph taken in daylight featuring an unidentified flying object in the desert with a helicopter hovering above it. Accompanying the image was a cryptic caption: "I've had these photos for 10 years, and it's time to share them." They were taken in July 2007 during a radar test at our field in the Mojave Desert. I've always hesitated to show them, but here they are now. The post, which vanished shortly afterward, marked the beginning of a compelling saga involving UFO researcher Philip Mantle and Keith Bradshaw, the man behind the images. The images immediately caught the attention of Philip Mantle, a veteran UFO investigator known for his meticulous research. Mantle's curiosity was piqued by the clarity and apparent authenticity of the photograph. He reached out to Keith Bradshaw through a private Facebook message, seeking more information about the post and its origins. By the time Mantle checked the post again the next day, it had been deleted. However, Keith responded to Mantle's inquiry, explaining his hesitation to share the photos due to the circumstances under which they were taken. Keith admitted that the photographs were captured illegally and expressed regret for posting one publicly. Despite his initial reluctance, Keith began corresponding with Mantle, sharing more about the story behind the images. He revealed that the photographs had been taken at China Lake, California, a remote location known for its US Navy base and classified testing grounds. The incident occurred on a hot July morning in 2007, around 11:30 in the morning. As Keith and Mantle exchanged messages, more details about the photographs emerged. Keith explained that he was present at China Lake during a radar test and happened to witness the scene by chance. He described seeing a UFO, metallic in appearance, hovering silently in the air. The object exhibited unusual stability and lacked visible propulsion systems, distinguishing it from conventional aircraft. Adding to the mystery was the presence of a helicopter above the UFO. Keith noted that the helicopter appeared to be observing the craft, though it did not seem to interfere with it. The juxtaposition of the two objects, a cutting-edge terrestrial vehicle and a seemingly otherworldly craft, was both striking and enigmatic. Keith seized the opportunity to capture photographs of the scene, but he was aware that doing so violated strict regulations regarding photography in the area. Keith shared 5 photographs with Mantle, each providing a slightly different perspective of the UFO and the helicopter. The images were clear and detailed, offering a rare glimpse of what appeared to be an extraordinary encounter. Mantle, recognizing the potential significance of the material, sought to document the story while respecting Keith's privacy and legal concerns. The choice of location adds another layer of intrigue to the story. China Lake, California is home to the Naval Air Weapons Station, a sprawling military installation that serves as a hub for weapons research, testing, and development. The base is shrouded in secrecy, with limited public access and ongoing classified operations. This makes it a prime location for sightings of unusual aerial phenomena, whether advanced military prototypes or unexplained UFOs. Given the context, it is plausible that the object Keith photographed could have been part of a classified military project. The US military has a history of testing cutting-edge aviation technologies, and many UFO sightings near restricted areas are later attributed to experimental aircraft. However, the distinctive features of the craft in Keith's photographs, its lack of visible propulsion and silent operation, set it apart from known technologies, fueling speculation about its origins. After the images were shared, they quickly gained traction within the UFO community. Philip Mantle's involvement brought a level of professionalism to the investigation. As an experienced UFO researcher, he approached the case with a critical yet open mind, documenting Keith's story and analyzing the photographs with care. Mantle also sought expert opinions to determine whether the images showed signs of manipulation, further bolstering their credibility. While definitive conclusions about the China Lake photographs remain elusive, the incident serves as a powerful reminder of the mysteries surrounding UFO sightings. The combination of a restricted military setting, high-quality images, and a credible witness account makes this case one of the more intriguing entries in the annals of UFO research. The photographs shared by Keith Bradshaw have sparked widespread discussion among enthusiasts and researchers, particularly due to their striking similarities to other recent UFO sightings. As unidentified aerial phenomena continue to capture public attention, comparisons between the China Lake images and contemporary reports highlight patterns and consistencies that deepen the mystery surrounding these encounters. From tic-tac-shaped craft to glowing orbs, the visual and behavioral similarities raise questions about whether these incidents are connected and what they might reveal about the origins of these unexplained phenomena. In recent years, public interest in UFOs has surged, spurred by high-profile releases of declassified government reports and videos. The Pentagon's acknowledgement of UAPs, including the infamous Tic Tac video from 2000 NAD4, has added legitimacy to the field of UFO research, encouraging more people to share their own sightings. Keith Bradshaw's photos depict a metallic, saucer-shaped craft that appears to hover effortlessly above the desert, with no visible means of propulsion. This description resonates with eyewitness accounts of UFOs observed in various locations around the world. The similarities have led many to wonder if the object at China Lake is part of a broader phenomenon, one that spans decades and defies conventional explanations. One of the most striking comparisons is between the China Lake UFO and the Tic Tac craft observed by US Navy pilots during a 2004 training exercise off the coast of California. The Tic Tac, so named for its elongated cylindrical shape, exhibited extraordinary capabilities, including hypersonic speeds, abrupt directional changes, and the ability to hover motionlessly. While the China Lake object appears more disc-shaped than cylindrical, it shares several key features, such as its apparent lack of traditional propulsion systems and its silent operation. Both cases also involve military settings, China Lake being a classified testing ground, and the Tic Tac incident occurring during a Navy operation. This overlap has fueled speculation that these objects could be advanced experimental technologies developed in secret. Another comparison frequently made is between the China Lake photos and sightings of glowing orb-like UFOs, which have become increasingly common in recent years. These orbs are often described as spherical or disc-shaped objects emitting a bright light, with the ability to hover, maneuver erratically, and disappear instantly. In Bradshaw's images, the metallic craft does not appear to emit light, but its reflective surface and seamless design align with descriptions of these enigmatic orbs. Reports of glowing orbs often emphasize their intelligence-like behavior, as they seem to respond to human activity or surveillance attempts. Similarly, Bradshaw's account of a helicopter hovering near the China Lake UFO raises questions about whether the craft was being actively observed or perhaps even studied by military personnel. The interaction between the helicopter and the UFO adds an element of mystery, suggesting that the incident might not have been a mere coincidence, but part of a larger, deliberate scenario. The similarities between the China Lake photographs and recent UFO sightings have also intensified calls for greater government transparency. As agencies like the Pentagon continue to release reports and videos of UAP encounters, many are urging officials to provide more information about what they know. Bradshaw's account, involving a classified military location, adds weight to the argument that governments might possess detailed knowledge of UFO phenomena but are withholding it from the public. The timing of Bradshaw's photo release in 2017 is particularly significant, as it coincides with the beginnings of increased openness around UAPs in the United States. Some researchers speculate that the China Lake incident could be connected to broader military efforts to study or reverse engineer advanced technologies. Others, however, caution against jumping to conclusions, emphasizing the need for further investigation and verifiable evidence. Beyond the United States, similar UFO sightings have been reported in countries such as Brazil, Russia, and Japan, creating a global pattern of unexplained aerial phenomena. The consistency of certain features, saucer or disc shapes, silent operation, and advanced maneuverability, suggests a shared origin or technology. The China Lake photos fit neatly into this pattern, reinforcing the idea that these sightings are not isolated incidents but part of a larger, interconnected phenomenon. Reports of unidentified flying objects above US military sites have sparked widespread intrigue and concern in recent years. These mysterious objects, often described as performing extraordinary maneuvers and exhibiting capabilities far beyond current human technology, have been witnessed by military personnel across multiple locations. What makes these sightings particularly alarming is that many of these UFOs do not appear on radar, yet they have the ability to outmaneuver the most advanced fighter jets in the US arsenal. The combination of invisibility to detection systems and superior aerial performance has led some experts to view these objects as potential national security threats, raising urgent questions about their origins and intentions. Incidents involving UFOs near military installations are not new, but they have gained increased attention due to recent declassifications and public disclosures. One of the most perplexing features of these UFOs is their apparent radar invisibility. Despite being observed visually by trained military personnel, these objects often fail to register on radar or other detection systems. This technological gap poses significant challenges to national defense, as it undermines the ability of the military to track and respond to potential threats. The radar invisibility of these UFOs raises several possibilities. One theory suggests that these objects use advanced stealth technology far beyond anything currently known. Another posits that their propulsion systems may operate outside the electromagnetic spectrum, making them inherently undetectable by conventional radar. Regardless of the explanation, the inability to monitor these objects leaves the military in a vulnerable position, as it is impossible to prepare for or counteract a threat that cannot be reliably detected. In addition to their radar invisibility, UFOs reported near military sites display exceptional aerial capabilities. These objects can accelerate from a standstill to hypersonic speeds in seconds, perform sharp turns at angles that would be fatal to human pilots, and hover with complete stability in extreme conditions. Such performance exceeds the limits of known aerodynamics and challenges our understanding of physics. These capabilities have raised questions about whether these UFOs represent foreign adversaries testing cutting-edge technology or something even more mysterious. The sheer performance gap between these objects and current human-engineered aircraft has led many to dismiss the possibility of terrestrial origins, pointing instead to advanced, non-human intelligence. The presence of unidentified craft with such capabilities near sensitive military sites poses undeniable national security concerns. If these objects are foreign in origin, they could represent surveillance efforts or advanced weapons systems designed to test US defenses. Alternatively, if their origins are extraterrestrial or interdimensional, their motivations remain a profound mystery. The growing body of evidence surrounding UFOs has led to increasing calls for transparency from both the public and government officials. While the Pentagon's UAP reports have provided some insight, they have also fueled frustration due to their lack of definitive answers. For many, the acknowledgement that UFOs exist but remain unexplained is both intriguing and unsettling. The public's demand for clarity reflects a broader desire to understand whether these objects pose a genuine risk or represent an opportunity to advance human knowledge.